How's it going, guys? Godly Dating 101 again, Tavares Gray.
Safa Gray.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Brandon.
Yeah, some people we met along the road. So these are some of our good friends from back home in Miami, and today we just want to talk to you about how we all met. So many people have been asking us how did Safa and I meet, and I know no one knows them from our page yet, but hopefully this can get them out there, some exposure towards just with their products and with their ministries and all that type of things. So with Safa and I met Safa one day because she was fine. All jokes aside, no, but Brandon and I went to a church. We went to a concert. I don't believe it was a church conference, but we went to this little concert type thing going on at one of our friendlier churches. And then, Safa was up there doing a poem. Breathe girl. I called her the breathe girl for like 3 years at least. And then she straight up shut it down. Like, I did not know she was a poet, at first. I knew I heard about her singing, but that kind of opened my eyes to her. And that was one of those things where it's like, yo, I gotta meet her. I mean, I'll let you talk about why you were there. But, so.
So yeah, it was at a church event, I would say, and I did the brief poem, and I think what had happened was he did introduce himself, and afterwards, we sent each other friend requests on social media, and we live in the same area and we visit the same churches, so we would see each other just as friends for a while. I didn't really know that he was interested, but I mean, we were really good friends, and he did express his interest, and so we decided to give it a try about a year into our friendship, and for various reasons, and because we were in very different places in our life, it just didn't work at the time. It was just the right person but the wrong time, so we decided to just remain friends, and over the years our friendship grew, and we decided to give it another try a couple years later, and it worked. God worked it out.
Clearly. Yeah, so it was years down the line. People ask me, how did you know that was still the person for you, seeing how you guys stopped talking? And but the thing is, we never really ended on bad terms. It was just terrible circumstances, so we just decided, let's just be friends. And it wasn't a matter of I'm telling her wait for me and she's telling me wait for her. It wasn't like that. We just literally went on with our lives, pursued school, and just stayed focused and stayed friends. And then down the line, in the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, is a good friend there, and I'm trying to see where is it going. Brandon's one of the people that I spoke to, trying to figure out, what do you think about her, and it's like, well, bro, I don't see why not, like, what I mean, what are you saying? And then, I tried to pursue, but she I was getting deployed early 2015, so she's like, let's just stay friends, see where this is going during the deployment. Because honestly, she didn't want to set herself up for some kind of failure. You know what I mean? To make yourself vulnerable, and that was good because even during the deployment, I was like, I need some space, because my mind isn't even in the right place. I mean, when the deployment finished, it amazed me that she's still there, she still cared, still was a good friend during during that deployment that I really needed, and that's why I realized that it wasn't a matter of always trying to pursue, the best person, or who's the finest person I could find, or who's the most, anything, like the little superficial things. It made me realize who's going to be consistent, what I mean? Like, who can love me for me, and who can, stay with me during worst times in my life, that's when I realized, like, I got to put a ring on it. Yeah, so here we are now, later on in 2017. I mean, I know you'll still have more questions about how we met, we can get in detail later on whenever you ask us. But we definitely want to hear Brandon and Tiff's stories.
Please tell us.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I came from Jamaica in about 2011 for school, and then my dad is actually the overseeing bishop of the church that both Brandon and Tavares went to. So automatically I had to go to that church. So once I was there, I was trying to get to know everyone and stuff. And I remember specifically one night after Sunday. One night after church, I was talking to, I think it was actually Tavares. He probably doesn't know I'm going to say this, but I was talking to Tavares and I was like, oh, I'll call you later, or I'll text you later, something to that effect, because we were friends, I promise. So he was one of the only persons I was like talking to. Not like that, please don't get it mixed.
Just friends.
So I was like, I'll text you later, and then Brandon overheard, and then he was like, oh, so you have everyone's number except mine. So that was his move. I'll never forget. And then we exchanged numbers. We exchanged numbers, and the following week was a singles meeting at church, and I noticed he wasn't there, so I used that opportunity to text him, and I was like, hey, why aren't you here? Because I wanted to know if he was single. He was. And ever since then, like, the rest is history. You can tell your story.
Alright, here's what really happened. It was a Sunday night. We always used to just hang out after church and just talk and socialize and whatnot. So I was walking by, and Bubba and Tiffany were talking. I think like the next day we all went to like Sister Barbara's house.
By the way, Bubba is.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh well, whatever. But me and Tavares, I believe Tiffany was talking to Tavares, and I was walking by, and she was like, "Oh, I'll call you later." So then, I mean, I had no reason to do it. I didn't really see Tiffany in that light yet, but I was just like, hey, so he has your number and I don't have it. So then she was like, oh, you want my number? So then I was like, yeah, if everyone else has, I want it too. just joking around, whatever. So then I gave her my number. As she typed it in, she was like, okay, I'm gonna call you now. Save my number. As soon as she typed in my number and pressed call, my full name showed up, my address, everything, a profile picture of me.
His credit score, all of it.
Everything. No, but for real, as soon as she dialed it, my name popped up.
But
so
I tell him all the time,
why
I didn't have it. It was caller ID on those old Metro phones. I promise, but he doesn't believe me. He thinks I was like stalking.
Cool. She had my number for a long time. I'm sticking to that story. She didn't free me for a long time. But anyhow, she had my number, and ever since then, there was singles meeting, and I was at work, and I received a text from her, and she's like, "Why aren't you at singles meeting?" And I remember this. I wrote because I'm not single, and I wrote that, and then she was like, "Yes, you are. Yes, you are." And since then, I promise you, we text every day.
Yeah.
Started that. There was like a 3-week break. She made me mad. But
and it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we were just very close friends at first for like a good year and a half, and then we would kind of just like joke around a bit, like, oh, you know, like what if we were together? But we didn't even see each other in that light. So, and then one day it was kind of just like, wait, like I think I'm developing feelings for him, and then that's when we decided like.
But another thing was, at the time I was older and she was younger than me.
Yeah, we're 5 years apart.
So I literally was just like, oh, she's just a cool chick. We're friends. We go to the same church and whatnot. She actually lived directly across the street from me, and my little friend David, I grew up with him and everything. And so I would go pick him up for church, and she would just happen to be there, so she'd hop in the car also. Yeah. It was just natural. Everything was just natural and free flowing.
So, my story of what I'm joking. So that's the story of how we met. Please comment below. We'll put their YouTube information in the bottom. Check out her blog. She's very stylish. You know, don't judge her by now. You know, she's taking it easy, but she's very stylish. So please check it out and follow us on social media, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.